So season 7 is finally here, and with it we got a couple new things, a new map, a revamped ranked mode, and most importantly, 2 new reworks for Valkyrie and Warden. I think the reworks are the most important thing to make its way to For Honor this season, especially since it was for 2 heroes who have been regarded as pretty weak for a pretty long time now, and I think it was really important for Warden to get a rework because I consider him to be one of the faces of For Honor and one of the most popular heroes among the community. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was a little worried that these reworks were going to be a little light and not do what they were supposed to do. And while I can't speak on Valkyrie just yet, I will say that I think Ubisoft did a pretty good job with Warden's rework. I'll admit that when I first looked at it, I thought that it wasn't going to be too good and that it didn't really add anything to his kit or fix any of his existing problems, but I've changed my mind. The rework isn't as robust as Kinsei's or Conqueror's, but it does add enough to make Warden feel like he can hold his own against almost anyone in the game. It makes him feel like the perfect hero for new players since he can do a little bit of everything. Now, they didn't add too much to him, but they added enough to make him feel relatively new. So first up, Warden's chain top heavy is now an 1100 millisecond unblockable, which admittedly is pretty slow, and heroes with fast lights can literally poke him out of it during its startup if he doesn't hit you with a heavier zone. But it does enough to warrant at least some sort of reaction from your opponents, and it feels really good since you can just throw it out after anything. You can throw it out after a light, after a heavy, after a zone, after a sprint attack, or after his new goofy looking dashing heavy, which is to me a nice addition to his moveset. Some people hate it, but I really like it. It's pretty quick and can be launched really late into his dash, and it doesn't bounce on block, meaning you can go right into that unblockable. There's also been an adjustment on the shoulder bash that I really like. So the new shoulder bash can no longer be soft feinted into a guard break, which basically removes a whole guard break mix up he had that could be completely negated by rolling away like literally everything else in the game. But now it has some really good tracking and just feels better. If you feel your opponent is going to dodge, you can charge in and smack them for a free heavy, unless of course they roll away. Also, the zone attack has a new nice animation to it. I personally wish that Warden's top unblockable had just a little more that went along with it though, maybe hyper armor or something, but what it really feels like it needs is a soft feint into anything. The first time I used it, I immediately assumed it could feint into a light or bash or something, and maybe that's because it feels really similar to Kinsei's overhead unblockable. Overall, I think the rework is just really well balanced and is one of the best ones we've gotten. It's not the most versatile kit in the world, but it does just enough to make Warden a lot of fun to play, and I think Ubi did a good job at making sure his shoulder wasn't better than his sword. I don't think the point of this rework was to make Warden really strong like they did with Conqueror, Berserker, and arguably Kinsei, but rather make Warden a better addition to the cast as a whole. We didn't need another hero with free damage or anything, and we don't need to turn Warden into Kinsei. What we got was a well-rounded, straightforward Vanguard that's easy to pick up and play. And if you really like Warden, then you can choose to main him and learn everything about him. Nothing in his kit makes him feel corny or cheesy, and I don't see myself ever getting frustrated fighting him the way I do against an option selecting Conqueror who won't throw anything other than shoulder bashing after empty dashing over and over. I find him pretty fun to fight against, and this is coming from someone who really didn't like Warden at all. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know that I wouldn't even play Warden for the entire first year of For Honor's lifespan. I didn't like dueling or brawling against him and thought he was an overrated hero, even though I knew he was pretty weak. But now Warden is one of the only heroes I genuinely have fun with. It makes me want to play For Honor more, and I know that may be partly because I didn't play the game for like 40 days, and maybe in a little bit of a honeymoon period with Season 7, but I don't think I'll just not enjoy Warden after a couple of weeks. Honestly, I think moving forward, Ubi should sit down and look at Kinsei and Warden when reworking anyone else, as I think those are the 2 that got really good reworks. I don't think Warden is the best hero in the game, not in duels or 4v4 either. I think he's just a good hero. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. I'm sorry it took me a little longer to post my thoughts on Warden, but For some reason, after I got off work the other day, I got super sick and sounded awful, so I decided not to record yet. And sorry if I still sound a little bad, but I didn't want to put this off anymore. Anyways, you've heard my opinion, so now I want to hear yours. So as usual, talk to me down in the comments and tell me what you think about Warden 2.0. If you're a Warden main before, tell me if you prefer the newer reworked version or the older one. And for the rest of you, tell me what you think of Warden's rework overall. I'm going to try and get a grasp on Valkyrie soon because, as I said, I can't speak on it just yet because I haven't played much, but from first impressions, she feels just a little bit clumsy, a little clunky, but I do like that her final sidelight has a stun property to it, and it sounds really satisfying. But if you like the video or agree with me at all, feel free to leave a like and sub if you're new, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.